Today what I want to do is test out a sublimation hack on this 100% cotton t-shirt, and as we know, we can't actually use sublimation ink on 100% cotton because it doesn't come out. Now this is a t-shirt I made a long time ago for an order, and I've got myself one as well. I used screen printing to do this, and it came out brilliantly. If you want to check out that video, I'll leave that linked at the end of this one. So on the back of this, I actually want my logo, and I'm going to quickly show you how I'm going to do it. So this is a hack that I've seen all over the place. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. So I want to test it to see if it comes out okay. And if it doesn't, I'm not too worried because I did get some ink on this t-shirt anyway. I'm going to need a few things for this. Firstly, I'm going to be using some DTF powder, and I'm going to be using the emulsion one. Apparently, it is superb, works really, really well. I'm also going to need a piece of A4 plain paper and some DTF paper as well. Don't worry, I will link it all in the description below, so if you want to get hold of it, you can. And the great thing about this paper is always make sure that when you take it out, you don't churn it around, because you only can print on one side of this, and it tells you which side that you need to print on the actual paper itself. And this is the emulsion printing paper as well. And this is the DTF transfer film. Now, I'm not going to invest in a DTF printer because, to me, I just couldn't justify doing that. But I do have a sublimation printer, which I use quite a lot. So to make sure I don't lose track of what side of the paper I'm using, all I'm doing is I'm taking a pen and I'm putting a little dot on each of the corners for the side up it should be. There we go. That will dry really quickly. The other thing I need to do is I buy this in the larger sheets because I find it cheaper to do so, and anything that's cheaper for me is ideal. But actually, I need it in A4 sheets, so all I'm going to do is pop an A4 sheet underneath it and then cut it down to size. That then gives me 2 A4 sheets, which is fabulous. And because I've got my dots on that one, I'm not going to miss it. And then I'm going to trim it up under here. Now, because this is going through my sublimation printer, it actually doesn't like, for some reason, I've got the Epson WF2630 sublimation or printer that I converted into a sublimation printer quite a long time ago. It's quite an old one now, so I'll cut this down. But because it doesn't like going through my printer, what I'm going to do is attach this to this A4 sheet of paper, and all I'm going to use to do that with is some normal sellotape. And if this works, I think this is going to be a real game changer for people. But so what I'm doing is turning that down round like that, and I don't want this to move, and this will drag it through my printer now really easily without any problems whatsoever. And I put one on each side, and I think that should be enough. So there we go, that's all attached to that now. I don't need to worry, and I'm going to pop that through my sublimation printer. I'm not going to show that until it's done, and then I'll show you what I do next. Well, there we go, that's printed that off now, and while that ink is still wet, I need to cover it with a light covering of this DTF powder. I'm doing it in a tray so I can easily clear it up afterwards. So there we go, so that's on there now, and then all I'm going to do is move that across and tap it off. And now you have to bake this or cook it or whatever you want to call it so that you ensure that you've got this finished. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that under my heat press for about 5 minutes until it has heated that up fully. I'm going to drop this, not right on it, just lower it a little bit. It's at 340 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be under there for about 5 minutes. And you know when it's done because it turns into like an orange peel effect, apparently. So let's leave it under there and we'll see how that gets on. Well, that's been under there now for about 5 minutes, so it should have baked on there really well. And it has baked on there really well. It's cooled down now, and you can really see the orange peel effect on there, so hopefully that's going to work. Now I'm going to take it off this backing paper because I don't need it to be on there anymore, and because I'm only transferring that, I can just cut this down to the size that I want. I'm not going to cut it into a circle because there's no need, but it will just take it off this piece of backing copy paper, and that's the back of it. That's what it's going to hopefully look like. So now I need to prepare my shirt And because it's going on the back of my shirt, I need to prepare the back. Now, I want to make sure that this doesn't transfer through. So I'm going to use a piece of greaseproof paper that will go inside my shirt. Now I'm going to attach my piece there like that. And I am going to use some heat resistant tape on it to ensure that it doesn't move. I really could do with getting one of those dispensers for this. And I've got another little experiment as well to see if that works using this. And if it does, I think it will be great. And I'll show you that one in a second. Well, this is now ready and waiting. My heat press is at the right temperature. I've got it set at 300 and I need to do this for 15 seconds. So I've set the timer and we'll let that run. Well, there we go. That's now had its time. So I'm going to leave that now to cool down, and because this is a cool peel, once that's cooled right down, then we can have a look at it. But in the meantime, what I've also done is I've printed out some of these logos really small as well. I've got some of these pieces of card and I'm going to see if I can heat transfer them onto there while my heat press is hot. Why not, I say, because they'll be really nice to give away as special little cards and to show people what you can do. I'm going to stick this on and I'll list these cards down below. So I'm going to put those on there like that, and then I'm going to put them under the heat press. But as I'm putting them onto card, I'm going to put them under the heat press for 30 seconds while this is cooling down. Well, this is completely cooled down now, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this has come out like. I hope this hack has worked because this is going to make a big difference, and I'm going to make some t-shirts now to sell on my stall if it has worked. Oh, and it does. It has definitely worked. There we go. We've got my logo on there looking great. Apparently this is really hard wearing, washes really well, stretches out no problem at all. I mean, look at that. That has come out great. Really like that. So we've now got I'm a crafter, not a hoarder. And we've got Steve McDonald all sublimated onto the back of my t-shirt. So the hack definitely works, but what I want to know is if it's worked as well on these cards. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, that has come out really well. It's stuck to the back of this so well. Look at that. And it's given it that like raised embossed feel to it. Oh, it does feel nice. And the reason I wanted to get those on cards is because I want to put something like, thank you for your order, Steve. I can handwrite that on them depending on what they've done, or I can put on there if I'm at a trade fair or something like that, or a craft fair or anything like that, I can put contact details and then put my contact details on there where I want them to contact me. Brilliant. Love it. I think the cards have come out superb and the t-shirt has also come out really nice. It feels so lovely as well. So the hack definitely works. Hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to boot the like button if you've enjoyed this video and to hit subscribe as well. I do lots of different craftings on this channel. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye.